Good morning. How are you? How you doing this morning? How are you? How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, September 24th, and I am freaking exhausted. It is 5:53 this morning. I've been up since like 5:20, and I probably went to bed around 1. So, why does it look like I literally got punched in the eye right there? I'm so tired, but I got these Amazon shifts to do for the 24th, 25th, and 26th. I have shifts, and today is Wednesday. We're starting off with 2 shifts this morning. The first one is at 6:45, which ends at 9:45, and then after that, I'll probably go home and rest for a couple hours because the next one after that is from 12:15 to 4:45. The first one is not that great. I didn't even want to take it, but I just took it, and I'm like, well, maybe I'll see if I cancel and get something better because with Amazon Flex, you can forfeit the block it'll go to someone else as long as it's like 45 minutes before the block. So say like this morning, like I didn't want to do it anymore, I could cancel it and it'll go to someone else and I won't get penalized. As long as it's 45 minutes before the time it starts. For me, it's like 6:45. So by 6, I'll probably have to like decide if I want it or not. Obviously, I want it, even though it's only for $76.50. I think the one for later, the 115, kind of makes up for it because it'll put me at like $191. And yeah, I think that's pretty good for today. I'll be done by 4:45 today. Probably even earlier. I usually finish my blocks like an hour early. But if they're hard, I usually finish like, I don't know, like 30 minutes before, 20. It honestly depends what area they throw me in today. I don't feel like driving far, but it is what it is. As we can see here, I am charging my car currently at 163 miles. It says 25 more minutes till fully charged. I just have to leave.
Good morning.
probably
How
like
are you?
15 minutes before my shift
How are
starts.
you doing?
Then again, I don't really know how far away I am from the warehouse. Okay, so I just checked. It's 11 minutes away from my house. It's normally 15 minutes away, so I guess we're kind of closer, like 4 minutes closer. I'm gonna go ahead and charge my car. I'm at 170 now, and then I'm gonna head there. Okay, so got my packages in my passenger. The ones in the back, there is like, I don't know, like maybe like 10 in the back, but they're all small in the trunk. So we're going to a good area. It's called Huntington Beach. This is like a really like good area. So hopefully we don't get a lot of apartments. When I was scanning, there was like a couple apartments here and there. There was a couple suites, meaning like they're usually to businesses most of the time. But yeah, we're not far away from the warehouse. We're only 12 minutes away from the first drop off. Hopefully this day goes by like a breeze. Hopefully we have no issues with anything and we can find everything, because the faster we get this done, the faster we go home, you know? Gotta get this money, $76.50, only 25 an hour. I really can't complain because that is pretty good. 25 an hour, in my opinion. Anyways, we only have 32 packages for the shift. Should be pretty easy. Nothing was too big. There was one heavy one to an apartment. Of course it is. All the time. But yeah, I'm currently on the way, 11 minutes now. Also, mileage wise, we are starting off with 233. We are starting to drive to the place at 650 right now. So just keep all this into like thought when you're doing Amazon Flex, or if you haven't even gotten on the list and you want to get on the list, you're probably going to take like 20 minutes or so doing like all the marking of the packages. I took like 15, but you know, you have to go scan your ID, you have to go get the basket, like everything takes time. I just got my first package dropped off at 7:01. I'm on to the next one. This next one's to a business. I'm going to try to record some of these drop-offs for you. I do have my other camera, but I did forget the magnet to clip it to my shirt. Holy crap, there's a freaking ambulance coming. Imagine that would have hit me. Imagine. What do they do at that point? Do they like reimburse you? Because I literally didn't hear it till I was turning. Oh, my bad. I'm going to my fifth drop off. It's 7:17. I did have to deliver to one business, and I don't know why they give me businesses this early, because usually they're not open like until like a reasonable time. I mean, 7:17, you should be open. Actually, most people work at 9 to 5, so I'm lying. Yeah, but I got there. It was a building. I had to go up the escalator, and then I basically knocked on the door. No answer. And then I'm like, well, I'm not going to go all the way back to the store to return this. I know I'm like accountable for the package, but I don't know, like that just takes so much more time out of my day that shouldn't even be happening, because these packages should be able to be delivered this early in the morning. I just left it in front of the door. It was in a secure building anyway, so I doubt anyone's gonna get it. Plus, if they say they open at 7:30, then someone already got it, you know? I don't know what time they open. Anyways, I'm headed to my fifth drop off, as I said. Here's how it's looking so far. Not that empty yet. I'm on to my 12th drop-off. Time right now is 7:36.
Good morning. How are
I have
you?
32 packages, so we're almost halfway there to 30. So far, most of these are houses. I don't want to speak too soon, but for the most part, they are houses, so this is going pretty good. pretty easy so far. I know I at least have one because I saw it earlier. It was like a big package and it was the heaviest package that I had. Sorry about my camera angle. Anyways, yeah, on to my next one. So I ended up checking my map to see all the drop-offs I'm gonna be making. I only have one apartment. I already delivered the heavy one that I said was an apartment. It ended up being a townhome, so thank God, because I did not want to like climb a flight of stairs or anything like that. I'm on to my 17th drop-off. It is 7:50, making very good time. I don't want to speak too soon, but very good time. Oh my God, are these cars ever gonna stop coming? Little story time for you guys. So I didn't record a video yesterday, or I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday. So I didn't record yesterday. I was doing an Amazon shift. I had just started. I was probably like on my third or fourth drop off. And then I usually turn like
Good
my
morning.
music all the way down because I don't want to like disturb like people in early in the morning. I turned my music down, and then I guess as I'm pulling up to like this person's place, I hear something and I'm like, it's like I'm like, oh, what's on my tire? Like, is something stuck in my tire? Like, because I know, like, I don't know, like sometimes like a leaf or like plastic or anything will make like a little sound if it's like stuck to your tire. And I'm like, oh, what the hell? I guess when I was delivering after the drop off, I checked my tire because I heard it on like my passenger area, not like the front tire, more like the rear tire. I heard it like that way. And I went and checked out my tire, didn't see anything. I like ran my hand over like the tire like that, even though I got all dirty. But I'm like, oh, I don't see nothing. Like I don't see anything that stuck to my tire. And then I continued on with my shift. I was probably like on my 13th drop off or so. And I still kept hearing the noise every single time that I was driving. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And then eventually I pulled out my camera from my phone and I'm like, well, let me see. Maybe it's like underneath, like where I can't see. Sure enough, I take a picture, pull out my phone, and there's like a big like piece of tire missing from my tire. And I'm like, oh my God, like you're kidding me. And I was like freaking out because I had 40 deliveries and I was barely like on 15. And I'm like, how am I going to do this? Like, is my tire going to be okay? And then I have a shift later. Like, am I going to have to cancel that one? I was just like in my head about all this. I ended up finishing my shift because I'm like, well, let me just finish this. Like, there's no point in going and seeing what's wrong with it right now because like I was in the middle of a shift. I'm not just going to stop and not deliver all of those packages. Like I'm gonna get in trouble, you know? So anyways, finished doing that, went home, and then I was like, Tesla has their own dealership, obviously. And I'm like, when can y'all get me in? Like my tire is literally missing a whole piece. And they're like, Thursday. And I'm like, it's barely Monday. No, it's barely Tuesday. Like, how are y'all gonna get me on Thursday? Like, this needs to be done ASAP. And then once he said Thursday, I had already started looking on Yelp. I'm like, well, let me find the best tire repair shop, or like I need a tire replacement, something like that. I didn't even answer the Tesla guy. I ended up finding this one place and I just went there. I'm like, do y'all do Tesla Model 3 tires? He's like, yeah, come in. I went, paid $140 for a brand new tire for my car, and Tesla was going to charge me $295 and plus taxes plus fees. So I'll have to pop up the picture of my torn tire right here. It's like crazy. Well, I guess I miscalculated. I actually have 35 packages to deliver. It's fine, whatever. I'm headed to 20 right now. So we only got like 15 left. This is a breeze. No issues yet. And I hope not ever. I don't really want any. I hate it when there's an issue. But it's 8:09. We're making good time. I think this one was scheduled till 9:45. We still got an hour and 45 to finish. I am on to drop off number 30. I have 5 packages left to complete. I thought it was going to be a lot like longer for this shift, but I'm finishing kind of early. I don't want to speak too soon or anything, but it's 8:45. Get to go home, relax for a little bit, probably eat something because I haven't eaten. I usually don't eat until like, I don't know, noon. Sometimes I don't even eat till like 1, 2. One time I ate at 4 for the first time. I'm like, damn. So I just finished dropping off that last package. Of course, the minute I say that I'm dropping off to all these houses, I have to drop off to a business, and it's like some construction site. It was like in the middle of nowhere, and thank God that there was a guy there. He told me exactly where to go, so I wasn't like confused or anything. Let's do our total amount for right now. I ended up working a total of 2 hours and 42 minutes, and I got paid $76.50, putting me at an hourly rate of $31.60. like estimately. Felt pretty good for working those 2 hours and 40 minutes. It was super easy for the most part. We got another shift at 12:15 to 4:45. That one's going for $115. So today I should be making a total guaranteed earnings of $191. Also, I forgot how many miles I started off with, but right now I'm at a total of 197 miles. I'm having thoughts. Should I get Cane's? Because low-key hungry. Is Cane's even open right now, or I'm just being like fat? Oh, it's open. I think I might get Cane's. Pulling in to my favorite Cane's. Okay, so I'm on to my second shift of the day. This one's going from 12:15 to 4:45. And I just picked up all my packages. There was only 21, thank God, and they're all like in an area like I'm familiar with. One person has 6 packages, and they're all of those right there. So wish you like delivering those. But anyways, we got 21 minutes till we get to the first drop off, and it's barely 12:16. It is 1:20 and I am headed to my 12th delivery today. This is pretty easy. Like, I'm literally in the mountains with all these beautiful homes that look like mansions. And I'm like, damn. And then these people are ordering. I had to also drop off with that lady that had 6 packages. And of course, I luck, she lived in an apartment. So had to walk up all those stairs. So lovely for me. But anyways, we got 2 minutes till we get to the 12th delivery. And my mileage right now is 155. Okay, so it is 1:44 and I'm on my way to deliver number 19. I only have 22, so we're almost done. It said it was gonna take me till 4:45. I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but looks like we're doing really good on time. I did forget to record those last few drop-offs. We ended up finishing at 1:56. It said it would finish at 4:45, so that's crazy. I finished like with 3 hours to spare, like 2. But anyways, pretty easy day. I'm done at 1:56. Can have the rest of the day to myself, and I made a total of $191. Super easy. Most of them were 2 houses. No apartments for this one. I'm at a total of 145 miles total that I have right now. So don't know what that is. I'll put like a calculation up here. But anyways, hope you guys have a good day. Like this video, comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.
Good morning. How are you? I never worked on a fire. Good morning. How are you? Good morning. How are you?
Well, I think this ruling gives Trump the green light to continue his attempted takeover of Portland, Oregon. And those numbers that you're citing are mere accusations. And I think where we have to focus on is making sure that the First Amendment is protected. And when we were going through this in 2020, one thing to remember is that when you talk about why people are protesting and why things may get violent, what you have to understand is you need to address the grievances. And that's what the Trump administration is not doing. They need to address the grievances that people are bringing, and that's why they're protesting.
Is there any argument for Democrats to say nonviolent protests in particular might be the better approach here? Are there ways that you're, in a sense, baiting or being
Good
drawn
morning.
into this argument by the White House?
Well, it's very clear to me that President Trump is trying to use our National Guard as toy soldiers. And that is where we have a problem. This is not a Democratic issue or a Republican issue. This is an American issue where people are trying to say something is wrong. Something doesn't seem right. And we want it to stop. And we're exercising our First Amendment rights to do that. That's the problem that President Trump has. This is a distraction, and he knows that if he continues the distraction, he doesn't have to run us our money. That's what we're asking for. Make sure you focus on the things that Americans have put forward front and center, and not going about these destructive ways that he's trying to change the story and change the narrative.
We know the state is planning to appeal. There's still a restraining order. What would you like to see next in this fight from your state?
Well, the president knows that he's messing with Portland, Oregon, and he's messing with the wrong people. What he needs to know is that he needs to run us our money. We need money for roads. We've needed money for special education for our students. We need money for water projects. Those are all grants that we applied for, that we expected to have, so we can improve the quality of life of Oregonians. He knows that he stopped that, and he's trying to cover up for that. Run us our money.
Congresswoman Janelle Bynum of Oregon, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, while that's going on, the Trump administration is also trying to tighten its grip on college campuses. So 7 universities have actually turned down this new offer for extra federal funding that would have been tied to a series of specific demands. Letters were sent to 12 schools asking for policy changes. Among them, the White House wants them to no longer consider gender and race in admissions. They want them to cap international student enrollment. The University of Virginia, the University of Arizona, the University of Southern California, UPenn, Brown, Dartmouth, MIT, they've all rejected it. There are some schools that say they're reviewing the proposal, or at least they haven't commented as of yet. Now, for students on campus, it's sparking concerns about attacks on higher ed.
We'd have to promise to shut down programs that are deemed as inefficient. The victims of this would be Black studies, gender studies, ethnic studies.
I'm asking UT leaders to listen to us, to recognize who is attending your school and who is paying thousands of dollars every year to get our education here.
Group chat is back to discuss, one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to about this, because it isn't just the issue of maybe transgender students that they're talking about. They are also talking about the idea that restrict employees from expressing certain political views. And it feels like they're reaching for a little bit more than just general concerns. But Ashley, can I get your point of view?
Yeah, I'm pretty close to this just because of some of the folks I work with. I think that the bottom line is of why these universities are not signing this is because of, if you do, you're putting yourself in a legal situation.
Good morning. How are you?
Long term. And so I think that if you're a university and sign this document, because it is some far-reaching things
they
have to say.
They want the schools to anonymously poll students and employees on their points of view, right?
Good morning.
To determine compliance.
I remember when the Republican Party did
Good morning.
want
How are
control of
you?
many things, and it was that they're trying to control our higher ed. And God forbid, Chuck Roach, you talk about higher
How are you
ed, and I'll
doing?
tell you this, Donald Trump don't like what they've been teaching about Republicans or conservatism, and I think that's what this is about.
Can you talk about how the universities are stepping up? We spent all of the last year talking about how scared they were. Is this a turning point?
It does seem like a little bit of a turning point. I mean, we saw the No Kings protests over the weekend. This is a little bit of that same sentiment, the idea that you shouldn't just bow down to a president who wants to run everything. He wants to run the Kennedy Center. He wants to run the university. He wants to run law firms. Universities are starting to push back in part because they realize that their constituents, people that pay tuition, do not want them bowing down. And it's also a free speech issue. A lot of these universities preach and talk about the Constitution, talk about constitutional law. They can't do that in good faith while also getting in bed with the president in this anti-free speech movement.
Do you think in part it's because this has gone so far past the arguments about anti-Semitism?
Well, I think that was the beginning. I mean, I was watching the kids that were protesting.
Good morning.
They were
How are you?
protesting about Gaza too, and I'm wondering where that is at this moment. But I also think that, listen, this is a legal issue in my mind more than anything. That why are you setting yourself up for a legal case if you don't abide by some of these broad area categories? I think they're very hard to define, and I think if you're a lawyer of these universities, you'd be like, never sign this.
Yeah, I think your point is taken by a lot of people. It's too vague. Too
It's
broad,
too vague, yeah.
too
I mean,
vague, and you can get into legal trouble down the road. You guys stay with me. And, if you ever miss a show, I should mention we're actually a podcast, so you can hear the group chat. Scan this QR code now to find it. CNN This Morning is available wherever you get your podcast. Now, next on CNN This Morning, take a look at the White House.
Good morning.
That's the East Wing, partially torn down to make room for the president's new ballroom. Plus this.
This is a clear sign that having a cloud infrastructure that is so monopolistic is problematic.
A massive worldwide outage from banks to airline and apps. It's a real eye-opener about our tech-focused lives. And into the danger zone, a singer calling out President Trump after he posted this AI video using his song without permission.
I wish I wasn't afraid to smile.
I wish I could get implants.
I wish I knew who to trust.
I'm not looking for another quick fix.
I want a smile I know will last.
Clear Choice smiles are made to stand the test of time. They're built by dental implant experts, backed by 20 years of pioneering research and a lifetime warranty on premium arches. Our smiles are built for life. Schedule your free consultation today.
Can a personal loan unlock your ambitions? Oh, yeah. Consolidate bad debt and save money for your next goal. Take a swing at your kitchen rental. Meant that literally. Or design your actual dream wedding. All your ambitions, all in one app. SoFi Personal Loans. Low fixed rates. Borrow up to 100K. No fees required. Go to SoFi.com to view your rate. SoFi. Get your money right.
I've been baking my entire life, so I love being in the kitchen, and I'm constantly growing my brows. So when some of my friends mentioned they got treated with Botox Cosmetic and were happy with the results, I booked my first consultation. Botox Cosmetic has been FDA approved for over 20 years, and it's the
Good
most
morning.
studied product of its kind. I'm happy with my results. They're very natural looking.
Botox cosmetic effects may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions are at highest risk. Don't receive Botox Cosmetic if you have skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow, eyelid drooping, or swelling. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, and medications including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
I'm the one and only Taylor, and I got treated with the one and only Botox Cosmetic.
Find a licensed Botox Cosmetic specialist at BotoxCosmetic.com.
Entyvio is the only gut-focused treatment for moderate to severe Crohn's and UC. Gut-focused Entyvio works right where you need it to block inflammation in your gut. With a legacy of more than 10 years, Entyvio offers the experience you need, lasting relief and steroid-free remission. And some people experience rapid symptom relief. Infusion and serious allergic reactions can happen during or after treatment. Entyvio may increase risk of infection, which can be serious. Although unlikely, PML, a rare brain infection that can result in death, cannot be ruled out. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, sores, or are prone to infections. Liver problems can occur. With Entyvio, you may be able to pay as little as $5 per dose. Ask your doctor if Entyvio, including the Entyvio pen, is right for you.
Yo.
Every business wants to grow, but no one wants the headaches that can come with it. On ShipStation.com, you can automate all your shipping needs, so you can ship
Good
15
morning.
times
How
more
are
orders.
you?
Get on board with ShipStation.
How are you doing
where
this
shipping
morning?
gets solved. Start your free trial today at ShipStation.com.
Sur La Table has it all. Even if your idea of La Yum 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 is La Open the Box. Sur La Table, for those who love to cook in the kitchen. This is my coffee shop. We just moved into a bigger space, brought on another employee, and ordered new branded gear for the team. It was so easy. I just chose my products, added our logo, and placed my order. Bring your own team together with custom gear. Get started today at customink.com.
If history has taught us anything, it's not to root against the underdog, against impossible odds. You don't stand down. You swing first. Kalshi. Trade on anything.
Closed captioning brought to you by Cardia Mobile, makers of the #1 doctor-recommended personal EKG.
Check your heart with the #1 doctor-recommended personal EKG that provides 6 times more heart data than any smartwatch. On sale now at Cardia.com or Amazon.
Amazon Web Services was hit by a massive outage that brought down major apps and websites like Fortnite, Snapchat, and Facebook. So if you're keeping track of the things that are currently shut down, it's the government, the internet, and the New York Jets.
While Monday's massive global outage of Amazon Web Services may have been a big joke on late-night businesses around the world weren't laughing. Factories, airlines, social media sites, banking services, and more all faced outages which knocked out services for millions of people around the world for several hours. So some cybersecurity experts say the total financial impact of the outage could easily reach hundreds of billions of dollars. It also exposed how fragile the modern internet can be.
This was not a cyber incident based on AWS's reporting that technology will fail us. Just like, unfortunately, our appliances in our house can fail, our car can fail, technology can fail.
Joining me now to talk about this is Sultan Megji, former Chief Innovation Officer at the Federal Department Insurance Corporation. So Sultan, thank you so much for being with us. And I understand deep in your career, you actually worked on the earliest web browser. So you know about the sort of promise and challenge of the internet.
Absolutely. And thanks for having me this morning.
AWS is the Amazon Web Service. It makes up 40% of the world's cloud computing. And this problem started in one building in Virginia. How is that possible?
Well, one of the things Amazon has done for the last few decades in order to get the kind of scale they've needed is they've automated all of their data centers. And in doing so, you can misconfigure one little file in one data center and take out an incredible amount of the data storage needs for most of the applications inside of their infrastructure. And that's exactly what happened.
How come companies aren't keeping their stuff in other places? Like, even I have my backups in multiple spots. And they could be with Microsoft. They could have more with Google. Like, what has been traditionally their argument against creating redundancies?
Well, most organizations now don't have the technical staff or the technical budget to invest in multiple different cloud or infrastructures at the same time. They are quite different. If you put stuff in Amazon, you have to change it in order to make it work in Microsoft or Google or any other infrastructure. And so many applications built over the last decade or so are not designed to be highly available. They're not designed to live in multiple environments at the same time. And because of that, they're very fragile and they can be taken down by an error just like this.
The last question I have is, I'm under the impression, correct me if I'm wrong, we've had all this money in damages, but these companies kind of got repaid in like credits from Amazon. And it just feels like, is that accountability? Like, it cost us all something. Did it cost Amazon anything?
At the end of the day, it's not going to. They're still going to make hundreds of billions of dollars a year in this revenue, and it's almost impossible to get out of that infrastructure once you're in. So it's sort of like your cell phone doesn't work for a few days and they take $1 or $2 off your bill, but you're still going to pay them hundreds of dollars a month for your cell phone.
Government regulation, is that an option, or have the companies kind of convinced the government they don't need it?
Well, tech companies are great at lobbying, so I would be very surprised if we saw new regulation out of this.
Sultan Megji is former Chief Innovation Officer at the FDIC. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, so demolition of the historic White House East Wing has begun. It's set to make way for the president's new multi-million-dollar ballroom. It follows other recent efforts by President Trump to modernize the White House, including new flagpoles, paving over the Rose Garden, and decking out the Oval Office walls with gold.
We're building a ballroom. They've wanted a ballroom for 150 years. And I'm giving that honor to this wonderful place. I think we should do it. This was the ballroom, and this room holds 88 people, and the new one will hold 999 people, which is a difference. I say 999 because I don't want to crack 1,000.
The demolition itself is stirring up debate from Democrats. California's Gavin Newsom tweeted that Trump is ripping apart the White House just like he's ripping apart the Constitution. But this isn't the first time the White House has undergone a major renovation. This is just some of the biggest ones over time, including construction of the West and East Wings, the press briefing room, not to mention the swimming pool, bowling alley, tennis courts, and basketball hoops that were added over the years. The group chat is back. Obviously, Newsom likes to troll the White House, but is anyone actually noticing the scale of this building right now?
I think the imagery of seeing the East Wing defaced in that way and being broken down when the president himself said that this was not going to interfere with what was already there and that this was not going to be an attack on the historic nature of that building, I think that did jar a lot of people. Yeah. It was shocking, but no one's really taking any steps to stop this president. He's redone the Rose Garden. He's redoing the inside of the White House, the Oval Office, now this big ballroom. It sounds like he is full speed ahead with this, and there's not much that's going to
stop. Like all renovation projects, this is bigger than we were told, and it looks a lot messier. But can you talk? People aren't really, I think, maybe it's not the scale, maybe it's the differences. And I know the Rose Garden thing really got to people because it is a lyric from a Joni Mitchell song, but this is just the bigger ballroom.
I remember when the president came in and said he was going to save all this money for the American taxpayers and brought in all the folks, including Elon Musk. This thing's going to cost, on top of it, defacing the East Wing, almost $200 million. Yesterday and last night, I talked about Kristi Noem and the government buying her 2 private jets that would cost $178 million. And if I didn't miss something right, he just gave Argentina $20 billion. And I find that ironic. At the same time in America, this week, kids that are on SNAP benefits and Social Security checks may not be going out because our government shut down. I just think that this is not America I want it to be.
Okay, I want to
Oh,
correct
don't do all
you.
of this to me.
It's all private money, and that's the difference. I mean, I spent 4 years in that building, and believe me, every president does try to modernize, and it usually does need modernization. This is obviously a huge project, but President Trump is raising $250 million from the private sector, which I don't think he could have been able to do this if he didn't get
Sponsor logos on the
probably. I mean, I was just
watching him.
Sponsored by Crest.
He was raking Jerome Powell over the coals for renovating a building.
But that was taxpayer money. I mean, this is really not. This is why I think this is a little different, whether you agree with it or not, or if it's just another Trump issue that people don't agree with. I mean, he is raising the money from the private sector because he knows he couldn't get it done.
All right, you guys, one more in the culture zone. Singer Kenny Loggins says he wants nothing to do with the most recent AI-generated video from the White House. The video showing King Trump dumping on protesters this weekend drew Loggins' scorn when they used Danger Zone, which he sang for the Top Gun movie. So in a statement to NPR,
Good morning.
Loggins demanded the president take the video down before adding, "I can't imagine why anybody would want their music used or associated with something created with the sole purpose of dividing us." The White House responded to NPR with a meme featuring the Top Gun movie quote, "I feel the need for speed." Group chat is back. I wanted to talk about this because Loggins' response wasn't, "I don't like Trump, please stop using my song." His response was, "Why would I want my music involved in something divisive?" And I thought that was kind of a thoughtful response, frankly.
It is. I mean, this is all very unserious coming from the president of the United
You mean
States.
AI slop of an actual defecating jet is not policy?
Yes,
Okay.
actual slop. And, attacking Americans who are in that imagery, sort of just using their First Amendment rights. This is obviously the president sort of trying to get back at his critics and trying to troll them. But we are, as Chuck said, in a government shutdown. We should be focusing on how to make sure that our government is open. And I'm not surprised that Kenny Loggins was not happy.
Kenny Loggins,
Kenny
still
Loggins
Lou,
was not
okay?
happy seeing his music. I like the song.
Yeah, no,
Happy
that's
seeing
true.
his
Let me
music
turn to
used
my
by the president.
messaging folks then. I understand trolling works. I get it, right? That's what Newsom is trying to do. But it's been interesting how aggressive this White House has been with the AI slop. Just like when in doubt, generate something completely bonkers.
Right, and people watch it. I mean, what were you talking about last night? Because he's you didn't say this, but the social media, he knows how to use it better than everybody.
He
I
is
mean, whether you
the,
agree
he's
with
the
it or not.
social media age president for sure.
Yeah, people spend all day scrolling on their phones. Like, I'm following some AI Jow monkey thing that I love watching because he makes me laugh. Like, that's what American people are doing. I think it's totally ludicrous and everything we're talking about, but sadly, that's what Americans do all day is they scroll on their phones and look at these things.
I wonder how many people watched that video.
Oh, really? Yeah.
The other thing is that I think is interesting is we've done way too many campaigns. I've had so many times, maybe this is just for Republicans, but I think this happened to Hillary too, is when artists don't like their political candidate, they come up and say, don't use my,
Yeah.
George Bush wasn't allowed to use anyone cool.
No, that's fair. I mean,
we were allowed to use
I still think pooping jet is a lot. And I still think Kenny Loggins and the battle for good taste is doing God's work. But yeah, for sure.
If someone's like, oh, nothing's ever going to be more surprising than this, there always is. So
Get ready. Let's talk about what is in our group chats.
Good
Jimmy,
morning.
can I
How
start
are
with
you?
Lindsay Halligan, the U.S. attorney for Eastern Virginia, who was plucked out of obscurity by President Trump, decided to use her time, even though she's prosecuting some of the most politically contentious cases in the country, to text a lawfare reporter about the case on Signal and divulge information that typically is not divulged in the middle of a case against someone like Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, or James Comey, the former
Wait,
FBI
so your
director.
group chat is about another group chat, and that one is between a prosecutor and a I thought the White House had kind of told everyone, guys, chill.
All right, y'all. Peace out.
No, Signalgate was not enough. They decided